You're watching Fox 4 News at 5.
John Holt.
And I'm Susan Hyland. Thanks for joining us for Fox 4 News at 5. Topping our news this half hour, time is running out for the flame at Liberty Memorial.
Yeah, budget cuts will snuff the flame after the 4th unless private money keeps flowing to keep the flame burning. Fox 4's John Pepitone live at the memorial tonight with the latest on the campaign to save the flame.
John, you know, this flame doesn't actually burn. It's a series of, it's steam lit up by a series of red lights. Generating that steam every day isn't cheap. Still, many believe it's a small price to pay for a symbol of the sacrifice of those who fought in World War I. It's been a landmark on the Kansas City skyline for 88 years. The Liberty Memorial's flame shines brightly at night to honor those who fought for our freedom.
It's just one of those symbols that really shows people how they care and that they remember those sacrifices.
Now, a cut in the city subsidy for the memorial is threatening to extinguish the flame. Steam generated from a boiler is vented out of the top of the memorial at a cost of about $45,000 a year. After Independence Day, it would only be lit on special holidays.
This was a hard decision for us to make in the first place, and we want the flame to stay on.
But one financial services company that serves military families decided the flame was worth saving.
We thought that the only World War I museum in the world deserved to have a flame forever.
Pioneer Services pledged $5,000 to keep the flame lit through the 4th of July. Then the military banking division of that company pledged another $17,500 to match donations to keep the flame burning for the rest of the year.
It's one thing to see the steam rise. It's another to meet Frank Buckles, the only remaining veteran from World War I, who I met on Sunday night. As 2 days after we began this campaign, I spoke with him and his daughter and said, Frank, we're going to work really hard. This flame's for you. Private donations have brought in $10,000, ranging from $5,000 from the Bank of Kansas City to individual donations of $5 or $10. There's a week left to raise the remaining $7,500. Now, although it's called the Eternal Flame, it's only lit from about dusk to 2 in the morning. That's when it can be seen the most clearly. Now, the museum is researching cost-effective alternatives to generate the flame. For more information on the Save the Flame campaign, go to our website, myfoxkc.com. John Pepitone, Fox 4 News, reporting live in Kansas City.
Now, from Kansas City's breaking news leader, this is complete coverage. This is NBC Action News Today.
Been a permanent fixture of the Kansas City skyline since 1926, but will money problems douse the Liberty Memorial flame? NBC Action News reporter Sloan Heller is live at the memorial this morning with the very latest. Sloan.
Hi, Jeff. The flame will live for at least another year. Today, the Save the Flame campaign started by a company called Pioneer Services. They presented 2 big checks at a rally here this morning. Grand total, about $60,000. One was for about $40,000. That came from the community, and then another $22,000 came from Pioneer Services. Now, all of this started back in April when the National World War I Museum said it just didn't have enough money to run this flame any longer, so it went out, then it went back on for a little while, and then it was supposed to go out for good tomorrow, but then people from all over Kansas City, the country, and even the United Kingdom, they just really came through.
I understand the community has put in $41,000, and so they've matched our $22,500, and we're well on our way to 2010. The flame is lit. It's an eternal flame to show our eternal gratitude to those that fought in World War I.
And just a little bit of trivia, it's not actually a flame. What it is smoke that's illuminated by colored lights. And because of that, the electricity bill, of course, is kind of hefty. It's about $4,000 a month, about $45,000 a year. So if you want to help continue this flame even beyond the next year, year and a half, you can contact the Save the Flame campaign. And we have all that information listed right on our website. That's NBCActionNews.com. We're live in Kansas City. Sloan Heller, NBC Action News.
Sloan, I can't tell you just how good of news that is to hear that is going to remain lit for at least another year to come. So,
I know a lot of very excited people out here for sure.
Thanks again.
From the station that's working for you, you're watching Fox 4 News at noon.
Budget cuts at the Liberty Memorial had threatened to put out the eternal flame, but a grassroots effort will keep it burning. Fox 4's Kathy Quinn is live from the museum in Midtown, where a major announcement just came down.
Big announcement and big memorial. Look at this right here, the Liberty Memorial. You know, budget cuts were announced earlier this year. There weren't enough dollars to keep it burning after the 4th of July. But the good news is, because a radio station, a corporation, and the community all got together, that's all going to change. And they made the big announcement today here. We're talking about Pioneer Services, which is a financial corporation for military families, and 106.5 radio station and the community. They had a huge rally here in front of the memorial, which was built in honor of the veterans of World War I. The flame, which is actually, and I'm trying to get you built up for this, steam lit up by red lights at the top of the memorial, costs $45,000 a year to operate. The cuts for the museum was $620,000, their budget $3.2 million, so it was a major hit. But because of the money raised by the company and the donations from the community, the goal has not only been met, but it was exceeded.
Thanks to the support of many individuals, the corporate community, businesses, foundations, and so many people, we have raised an additional $41,000 to match the $22,500 contributed by Pioneer Services. So we have not only met but exceeded our goal, and we couldn't be more delighted. Thank you all for saving the flame.
Saving the flame, and there are the folks who were clapping and applauding because of what happened, and everybody was very excited. So the flame will be saved more than a year, we're told, and you can continue, though, to save that flame by donating to the fund, and we have it on our website, myfoxkc.com. But if you'd like to check it out, it's savetheflame.org. So this flame will be on until after 4th of July, another year and some. So that's good news for the folks here at the museum. Kathy Quinn, Fox 4 News, live in Kansas City.
Now, from Kansas City's breaking news leader, this is complete coverage. This is NBC Action News at 6.
In Money Matters tonight, it might be out of sight, but it's definitely not out of mind.
Well, people from all over the world came together to save a Kansas City monument. NBC Action News reporter Sloan Heller is live at the Liberty Memorial with the story. Sloan?
Hi, Mark. The flame here at the Liberty Memorial was supposed to go out for good tomorrow night, July 4th, but thanks to an amazing grassroots effort, that flame is going to live for at least another year.
The Save the Flame campaign isn't just a local push. Contributions to save the Liberty Memorial icon are coming from all over the globe. A man from South Carolina wrote a check for $1,000, and then there's a group of doughboys in the United Kingdom.
They were soliciting all members of the Pershing Doughboys to contribute to the Kansas City Monument. Isn't that unbelievable?
The goal was $45,000. That's what it costs to run the flame every year. Instead, the group raised more than $60,000. Leaders presented 2 big checks at a rally this morning.
Flame is lit. It's an eternal flame to show our eternal gratitude to those that fought in World War I.
It was nearly lights out for the 80-year-old eternal flame. This spring, the National World War I Museum announced it didn't have the money to keep it alive.
You know, we're so tight everywhere else in our budget that this is one of the places we could cut, although we did that very reluctantly.
That's where the Save the Flame campaign comes in. It's a joint effort between a company called Pioneer Services, the museum, and this local, Jeannie Carlson.
I'm surprised to have surpassed the goal. There were times when I didn't think that we would make the goal.
Now that the next year is covered, the group will start looking at ways to truly make it an eternal flame.
It really does acknowledge all the sacrifice and contributions that men in the military have made.
And just a little bit of trivia, that flame, well, it's not actually a flame. What it is, it's smoke that's illuminated by colored lights, and that's, of course, why that electricity bill is so high. Now, Pioneer Services says they're really going to focus on working on newer, more cost-effective ways to keep that flame alive for good. And if you want to donate, just head to our website. That's NBCActionNews.com. We're live in Kansas City. Sloan Heller, NBC Action News.
Oh, that is
a great story.
It's always good to see when you're driving around town.